Bismillahirrahmanirrahim and Assalamu alaikum. Today is Monday and it's 17th of Zulhajj and the 19th of September 2016. I'm bringing another episode of my weekly program Double Standards that I present every Monday from 6 to 7 p.m. UK time. And in this program I discuss the ongoing current affairs, sometimes one, sometimes more than one, and I try to analyze them economically, politically, diplomatically, militarily, socially, and from the media coverage point of view. And I run this program for about, say, 15 to 20 minutes when I start it, and after that we take a break, and when I come back after the break, the telephone lines are opened, inviting the viewers to make telephone calls to ask any question on the topic which is being discussed by me, or share their erudite comments on the topic to bring flavor and strength to the program. And obviously, when I say inviting you to make telephone calls, there is no restriction on the language choice. You can call and share your views or ask question in English or in Urdu, and we will discuss the issue as per the language through which you ask the question. So today's topic, which I picked up myself, is an ongoing event in New York, and the topic I chose and I gave it myself is Nawaz in New York, an idiot abroad. Now, we are not calling Nawaz Sharif an idiot. The others they are calling, but no, we are not. I'm just trying to trivialize a popular sitcom, a documentary, a travel documentary which ran on a leading UK television channel for about 2 years and 3 months and ran about 19 episodes. And it was shot in India, in United States, UK, and China. And I'm trivializing that popular sitcom, which featured, starring by Ricky Gervais, Stephen Merchant, and very famous Carl Pilkington. Now, I'm trying to draw parallels and similarities between Carl Pilkington, the protagonist of this sitcom, and our beloved Prime Minister, Mia Muhammad Nawaz Sharif. May Allah give him long life to live. I'm trying to draw similarities between them. And the similarities are being the travel crazy, going to the exotic destinations on the state expense. Somebody else is paying for those expenses. So Pilkington was making these trips to India, China, and United States when somebody else was paying for them. And our beloved Prime Minister is visiting United States, and he loves to visit India. He's done it many times, and China, and on the state expenses. The expenses provided by the taxpayers' money. The people pay their taxes to Mia Nawaz Sharif, and out of those taxes, Mia Nawaz Sharif, he embarks on lavish foreign trips, sometimes state trips, official trips, and sometimes private trips. But in both cases, the bill is paid from the taxpayers' money. Now, while drawing the parallels, I would go a little farther, that after coming to power in through the May 2013 general elections, Nawaz Sharif has visited New York 3 times already. Now, this is his 4th term. And the reason for visiting New York is that every year in September, the UN General Assembly opens its session. That session carries on for 2 to 3 weeks. But the real time is the 4th week of September, when the heads of states, leading luminaries, they make their debates, they make their speeches, and using that highly prestigious podium of the UN General Assembly, they put across their point of view and they represent their nation and discuss one or more than one global issues that are pertaining to their nations they represent. Now, Mian Nawaz Sharif will be making a speech on day after tomorrow on Wednesday, and this time he has got more than 1 point on his agenda. The biggest point is the Indian blatant human rights violations in the held Kashmir, in Jammu and Kashmir. And Nawaz Sharif would like to make a speech, and along the line he would be making his case to extract, if possible, one or more than one UN resolutions that can agree with Mian Nawaz Sharif's resolve that India, yes, India is involved in blatant human rights violations in Kashmir. In the recent months, the Indian Defence Forces deployed in Kashmir under the command of the Northern Command of India, commanded by a senior 3-star Lieutenant General D.S. Huda from the 4th Gorkha Rifles, an infantryman, and a lot of credit goes to him behind persecuting and killing innocent Kashmiris in Jammu, Kashmir and other adjoining areas of the troubled state. Huda, as a general, he has got the last 15 years of his service served in under the Northern Command. He commanded a battalion in this area. Then he commanded an infantry brigade under the Northern Command, and after a brief stint at the South Block at the Ministry of Defence in India as a deputy DGMO. Now, for the last 2 years, since July 2014, Lieutenant General D.S. Huda is the head of the Northern Command of India. Now, this is his game plan. He has planned a lot of atrocities, brutalities against the Indians just to subdue, just to oppress the indigenous freedom movement launched by the Kashmiri freedom fighters who are unarmed. The only weapon they are using is the weapon of their words, the weapon of their tongue. So they are raising their legitimate demand to get the separate independent homeland, which is not an illegitimate demand because it is supported by the UN Charter, that the people who want to declare independence by legal means, by judicial means, according to the international law and diplomacy norms, they have the right to raise their voice, and if through a plebiscite they're able to put across their movement and their claim, then no force can stop them. So India is stopping them for last nearly 68, 69 years. So let's see if Nawaz Sharif is able to extract a UN resolution lambasting the Indian armed forces using live ammunition against the innocent civilians, completely unarmed. And this time, the excessive and disproportionate use of force by the Northern Command, by the battalions under the command of Lieutenant General Huda, they have crossed all the limits, and certain international organizations, certain international journals, newspapers and media reports, they have branded General Huda as Himmler of India, as Himmler did during 6 years. He ran a reign of terror against the innocent people in 29 concentration camps under the Nazi Germany at that time. So Huda or Himmler of India, we call Huda. So this man is very dangerous. He should be on the wanted list of international human rights organizations who are projecting and promoting the rights of the unarmed people who are being persecuted, oppressed, and aggressively dealt with by strong military forces. So the international organizations like United Nations and their Secretary General Ban Ki-moon himself has criticized the excessive use of force by India in the held Kashmir against the unarmed people. And other organizations like the UN High Commission, UN Council on Human Rights, and headed by the former Jordanian Prince, he is also a PhD doctor from Cambridge, and Prince Zayed bin Rad from Jordan. He is the High Commissioner, UN High Commissioner for Human Rights. So he has openly, vociferously, he has given his official statements that yes, India and Indian armed forces are unlawfully, they are pressuring and they are persecuting the people of Kashmir. So other organizations like Amnesty International has also highlighted these Indian brutalities being carried out in the held Kashmir. Human Rights Watch has produced extensive reports, hundreds of them in the last 20 years or so, on human rights violations by the Indian forces in held Kashmir. Likewise, the UN Military Observer for India and Pakistan, they have received as many as 74 applications and memorandums from the indigenous Kashmiri freedom fighters that excessive use of force is being deployed and applied on them. The other international organizations dealing with human rights are like EU. EU has got its own independent body looking into this matter. And the OIC, Organization of 57 Islamic Countries, Islamic Cooperation, I mean, they have highlighted, they have exposed through print media, through electronic media, through seminars, through different meetings, discussions, TV talk shows, they have exposed that yes, this is the time India should be held responsible and there should be some comeuppance against India diplomatically, morally, or if United Nations Security Council passes a resolution, adopts a resolution that yes, India is doing that, then the psychological warfare which India has launched against Pakistan and the people of Kashmir, that will come nearly to an end and India will emerge as an ignominious loser. And now Pakistan's delegation led by Nawaz Sharif arrived in New York yesterday along with his wife Kulsoom Nawaz, the First Lady. She deserves to be with ailing Prime Minister who is not well, so she is the first one who can provide the nursing if need be, and with Fatemi, who is the Special Assistant to the Prime Minister on Foreign Policy. And already in New York, the people like Maliha Lodhi, who is Pakistan's permanent representative at the United Nations, and Jalil Abbas Jilani, Pakistan's ambassador to Washington DC, Azaz Chaudhry, the Foreign Secretary, and Sheikh Saeed Nawaz Sharif's business partner in New York. So these people, they received Mian Nawaz Sharif, and now Mian Nawaz Sharif is preparing his draft and he's memorizing, practicing in front of big man-sized mirror that how he has to conduct himself on day after tomorrow, Wednesday, when he's making his 1 hour long speech at the UN General Assembly. With that, we take a short break, but when I come back after the break, like I said at the start of the program, the telephone lines would be open and you're welcome to call. Take a break.